Hey, it's Kenny with Helicopter Land Ground School. This will be a short video today. I am Kenny Keller, creator of Helicopter Land Ground School. And for those of you that don't know, we've been updating all of the maneuvers inside Helicopter Land Ground School in the private pilot section. So that's our first focus on moving HOGS forward, is rebuilding all of the maneuvers. Basic maneuvers, advanced maneuvers, and we're rebuilding all the auto rotation stuff as well. So here's a topic, just for fun topic, food for thought, and you can put your comments down below. Do you consider a running takeoff an emergency maneuver? And the reason I ask that question is, back when I was doing my training originally, when I taught the school I was working at, it was just considered a running takeoff, not rolling takeoff, not talking about, a helicopter with regular, with wheels, right, where they have to do a rolling takeoff. We're talking about running takeoff, where you're sliding the skids across the ground. What we were trained and what I've always kept was running landing is not an emergency operation, because anybody could, be landing at a certain area and not have the power they need. Maybe you've got a plug fouling or something, you don't have enough power, you've had a turbocharger failure, something like that. So you practice the running landings, sliding the skids across the ground, okay? So very common, private pilot level. Most people teach that, the running landing, and it's a maneuver in the PTS for private pilot. Now with the rolling takeoff or the running takeoff, I was always taught emergency maneuver, right? Because if you have to go sliding the skids across the ground to take off, why are you not waiting till the weather cools, or offloading fuel, or offloading passengers? Is there any time that it's so dire that you take off that you would have to go sliding the skids across the ground to get through ETL to get off the ground because you don't have powered hover? So what I'm going to say is, I'm not saying it never, ever, ever should be used. I'm not saying that. They don't test on that at the private level. They don't make you do a running takeoff. They can do rolling if you have again, wheels on a helicopter, but most private pilots are usually flying the small training helicopter with skids. So that's kind of the thinking that we've adopted. That's, the areas I train in the Midwest, that's just what we did. So in turn, the training that I do now with private pilots, not saying I won't show you a running takeoff, but as a previous aircraft owner and taking care of really good care of the aircraft that I currently use, every time you're grinding those skids across the runway, you're wearing down those pads on the bottom of the skids, right? And if you're not staying on top of those, you can even wear into the skid tube. But again, back to, if you're that heavy that you don't have enough power to do a takeoff, then you probably ought to be delaying that flight. I can tell you, in the 5 years that I flew EMS, we didn't do running takeoffs. Wasn't even discussed, wasn't an option, never even talked about it. So in that environment where you don't do a sliding or running takeoff in a skid type landing gear in an emergency medical operation, why would you need to do it as a private pilot going out and flying for fun? So I just wanted to do this kind of as a for fun video. Wanted to do something short and quick today because I'm tired after last month. Last month has been crazy with celebrating 8 years online the whole entire month of March, and everything going on in the world and going live every day, which I love doing, right? But yesterday we had phenomenal turnout on the Max takeoff video I did. Over 1,000 views already. Love it. That's awesome. Just put that out yesterday afternoon at 5. So we were discussing all the maneuvers that we're upgrading inside Helicopter Land Ground School. And Brian, if you don't know, Brian Rutledge is our operations manager. Just retired from Sheriff's Department Aviation Unit in California, working with me full-time with Helicopter Land Ground School. And he has now uploaded 15 downloads for the maneuvers. So as we're shooting brand new maneuvers, uploading those videos to the site, Brian is uploading these downloads. And basically the downloads that Brian has created are just a quick reference sheet, like a guide. Like, say you want to go back and review some maneuvers, you might want to go in, watch the video again, and then below that video there'll be a download inside Helicopter Land Ground School. So you can click on that download and you could just simply read it on your computer if you like, or you could even download that cheat sheet and keep it, make your own adjustments to it, put it in a folder, make a small book if you'd like. but we're putting those downloads in there for you, our Helicopter Land Ground School members. So Brian called today and he's like, hey, you don't have a video on running takeoff. And I said, well, I don't, because I don't really, in general, I don't teach the running takeoff. I mean, I'll show somebody if they really want to learn how to do it, but the examiners here in the Midwest do not make you do a running takeoff. Again, this site can be debated, so love to see some comments down in the description box below on what you think. You know, when would be, if there's an appropriate time for an actual running takeoff when you don't have enough power to hover, what would be that reason why that would be a good maneuver? So again, just let everybody know, we've been talking about the updates and how to notify people. We're working on that, taking all your feedback. We decided today, just know that, you know, with the aircraft maneuvers, there's no really reason to put out any kind of update on that, because that's what we've been working on for the last 2 weeks. And that's what we will continue to work on the next 2 weeks. So we're looking at, hopefully in about 2 weeks, all the basic maneuvers, all brand new videos with the download. Same thing with the advanced maneuvers within 2 weeks. Hopefully those are all done, and hopefully all the auto rotation videos are done as well, where they're all brand new videos and everything has a download. So there's no reason for us to say, hey, we uploaded this video, hey, we uploaded that video, because we're rebuilding that whole entire section. And we're really happy with it, really happy with the way the videos are coming out. And this was the one thing that Brian picked. We've been talking for years about him going full-time when he retired. So it just happened 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. And that's what the first thing that Brian wanted to do was like, hey, let's shoot, why don't we put new maneuvers in the site and let me create a download that, again, is just kind of a cheat sheet. So what we did with those is Brian's basically taking the essence of what it says in the Helicopter Flying Handbook and making a download specific for that. So again, depending on where you're flying in the world, what aircraft, what flight school, terminologies might be a little bit different, the numbers might be a little bit different, but the essence of the maneuvers stay pretty much the same across the board. So that's what we're doing. And when the question came up, hey, you don't have a running takeoff video, I said, well, we'll just put a short video in there explaining that it may be something you may want to do with your instructor. If you're a student, that should only be done with an instructor. I wouldn't recommend a student pilot or a brand new pilot that's never done one. I wouldn't recommend doing it without the help of an instructor. And then if it's appropriate for you at your training, if at your school, if it's appropriate, great. Again, as a aircraft owner in the past, and taking good care of my buddy's aircraft, I even do running landings. I don't do them like a quarter of a mile down the runway like a lot of people do, right? I demonstrate them just short and sweet, little ground slide. I just don't want to wear any more of those skids off than necessary. So there you go. I'm going to wrap it up. Quick video today. Like I said, I wanted to relax a little bit. Been live every day for either live or done a premiere every day for over a month, and still enjoying it, and we'll still continue to do that throughout April. And just so you know, the HOGS member support number, 574-767-1797, is available for you to text and or call. My deal for April, keep Heather safe. I said, you know what? Just stay home for April. I'll pay you to be home, answer your email, and I'll pay you to take care of the phone line 7 days a week. So at least, you know, monitor it through the day, in the morning and the evening. And if there's any messages, answer them if you can. If there's any text messages, answer those if you can. And if it's a little more technical than what you can answer, Heather, ship it on to Brian or ship it on to me. Brian is in charge of the content inside Helicopter Land Ground School. That's what Brian's job is, to help me improve the site and kind of manage, like I'm shipping any comment versus content, I make sure I ship them to Brian, right? So he reads every one, whether I answer it or have him answer it, I ship it all to him. So as he's going through and saying, hey, let's make some changes here, it just works out really well because I can focus on creating the videos. I still have to do the editing, but having two people working together on creating the new content, honing it, writing the descriptions, getting the uploads in there, we're really making that basic maneuver section really shine, and we're really proud of it. And it's going to continue to get better through the next 2 weeks. So if you're wondering what we're doing at Helicopter Land Ground School, uploading videos, uploading downloads, going through all them maneuvers, freshen them all up. So do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you'll be notified of our videos. We do all kinds of stuff. I'm going to click end here and I'll go in upstairs and put below free resources for our free PDF, 2 Amazon #1 best-selling books, Helicopter Check Ride and Top Time 10 Check Ride Tips. I'll put the free link down below for both of those Amazon #1 bestsellers. You can consume those for free. And then there's a free radio course down there as well. You can check that out. We're going to be updating that this summer as well. When the coronavirus calms down, Brian's going to head out to Indiana and come out and spend a week, and we're going to go out together in the helicopter and do some filming. I'm going to transition him to the Enstrom. He's never flown one, but also we're going to go fly in some more complicated airspace and do some videos to add to that free section on the free radio course. Anybody can check out that course, and of course all of our members have access to it, but the general public can log into that course just for something to do, take a look at our training, see how it's kind of laid out. However, we are, the next thing we're going to do after we get done with the basic maneuvers and doing all the maneuver updates, the next thing we're going to work at is an update to the site, which doesn't mean a whole lot to most of you. Nothing's really going to change as far as the way you log in and the way that everything's laid out. It's going to stay pretty much the same, but there are some options for some upgrades to the current site that we have that opens up some new opportunities with some things that aren't available to us right now that will be available to us when we upgrade to a new theme. So that's going to be our next project after finishing all the maneuver updates. We're going to take a few days and we're going to update to a new theme for Helicopter Land Ground School, where there'll be some more available options and things that we can do to provide other services to you, our members. So that's going to be the next thing after we finish all the maneuvers. So hope you're all having a good day. Keep your head up, keep it pointed in the wind. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.